Hi, and welcome back to Gavin's Sonex B. I've been busy indoors creating the new throttle system, or the potential new throttle system. And I'll show you how far I've got. I'm still waiting for a few bits to arrive, but I've basically got the positioning of most of what I want to do. I've made a one set of bracketry and riveted it on, and I've got the throttle quadrant, the left hand one, the master one, bolted to the bracket, and you can have a look and see what it looks like. So there's the throttle quadrant sitting in the back of the bottom of the instrument panel, and if we go down underneath, I'll get a torch. You should be able to see the bracket that runs out from underneath and the bolts holding the quadrant on, and the adjuster for the resistance setting as well. Now, whether that's going to get in the way of my knee, I have no idea. I don't think so, but we'll see. It's all a bit of an experiment. After all, in the US they're called experimental aircraft, so we're having a bit of an experiment. So we're planning on going a bar through this hole with a bearing in it. I'm probably going to put a second bearing to hold the thing straight, and then I'm going to have to modify the arm so that it compensates for the difference in angle as you go through. I'll explain more when we get that far, but basically you can see there's full throttle and idle. It's pretty damn rigid. I think once the instrument panel is in, everything will stiffen up quite nicely, but that's where I am at the moment, and more later. So here is the Mark 1 setup. Well, it's Mark 2 really, because Mark 1 actually never got assembled, because I suddenly realized that it wasn't going to work very well. Originally I bought these lovely bearings to go through, well, the little axles, axle bearings actually, to go through the panel to guide the bar, and I was going to have two of them, one at the front and one at the back here, to hold the bar straight, and then have a sliding mechanism on here, because obviously as this lever rotates, it comes out here and then comes back in again, so you're not driving in a straight line effectively. So it needed a little sliding mechanism, which I'd worked out what I was going to do. But when I actually tried the bar through these little bearings, there's such a good fit that any misalignment had the potential to jam the whole thing up, which is something that Anthony Strawbridge alerted me to in a comment on the previous video, and he's absolutely right. So actually, you don't really want too much of a precision fit. It needs to be a little bit sloppy so that it doesn't jam up. So here's Mark 2. And so I've gone just for rigidly bolting the rod end to the end of the throttle lever. So this is done up tight. There's a spacer, then the rod end. I've put a couple of washers either side of the rod end just to stop it from tilting too far and going out of line in case it gets caught on anything. So it allows a little bit of movement that way, but not much. And then I've put a plastic feed through in here, and so there's no slop in it, but it's not a tight fit. And so if I then operate it, you can see that it works nicely. Of course, it drives slightly out of line, but I don't think that's going to make any difference to the operation of it. So I'm going to go with this for the moment. It seems mechanically sound and smooth, so I shall cut some proper bolts and make a proper spacer to go there, and bolt it all up and show you what it looks like afterwards. I'm still waiting for the knobs to arrive, and I need to look at the throttle body on the aero injector and see what sort of travel is required on the cable, the throttle cable, so I can work out the optimum length of this one. Of course, it can all be adjusted. There are little adjusters that go in the back of here for the cables, so it can all be adjusted up from there, but that's where we are at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and make another set of parts for the other side, and then hopefully get the cable linked up between the two and see whether we get a nice smooth action on both sides. Anyway, that's where we are at the moment. More later. You'll have to excuse the state of the floor. I haven't cleared up yet. So the knobs have arrived, and I've fitted the knob on this one. I've also made the other set of parts. I had to do it in a slightly different way, but it effectively ends up exactly the same for the other side. And if we turn it over, you can see it's just very, very simple. All it is a little arm that or a rod that pushes the arm that you would normally push with your hand, and it's utilized all the parts that would have been there anyway. The only extra things I've had to make is this angle section, a clip, and under here is a spacer to space out for the thickness of the angle that I've fitted to the back edge. And that's it really. It seems to work really nicely. There's the other end. And what I'm going to do now is go and try it in the aircraft. I haven't got the cable out yet, because I want to work out where I'm going to route it. So I'm going to go out in the garage, attach this to the cockpit, and we'll have a quick look at it in situ. More later. So here we are with it installed, and just to recap, this side is, on the pilot side, is the one that's actually connected to the aero injector, the carburetor, and there is a cable which runs from this one to the one on the other side, so that they work in tandem. I haven't installed the cable at the moment. Just got to look at where it's going to go. Need to take a sort of gentle course between the two, but as you can see, it's looking good. I think it's going to work perfectly. I'm very pleased with that, and there we go. So that's a little project that I've spent a few hours, or a couple of hours each day for, I don't know, probably 5 days. I've been working on it, pondering, buying bits, waiting for them to arrive. So I now have a different throttle arrangement, but actually it's the same throttle arrangement. It just has a kind of remote knob. It's a bit like replacing your forearm, which would have normally done the throttle. You can think of the rod end as a wrist, and the bar as a forearm, basically, to remote them. Anyway, that's enough for me for the moment. More later.